I'm a 4.0 Canadian medical graduate and I've just been accepted into anesthesiology. Now I'm gonna put my hand up and tell you straight up, I'm a degenerate. I hate waking up early, I love gaming, I love hanging with my friends, I love partying. When it comes to school, I struggle to pay attention in class, I struggle to stay organized, and I flat out can't take notes. I have a very passionate brain, but it's very easily distractible. I was actually diagnosed with ADHD earlier this year, so looking back, that makes a lot of sense. Now let me tell you from firsthand experience, being a student is really hard. If you're in high school, college, or university, if you're trying to chase your career goals through a formal education, it doesn't just require a ton of work, but it requires a lot of delayed gratification. Maybe you were like me and you looked on YouTube for some content creators that can help you study a little bit more effectively or get better grades. When I did this, I didn't find a single content creator that resonated with me. A lot of them focus on taking more organized notes, having a color-coded planner, managing your time more effectively, how to study for 4 hours straight. And these tips might be helpful for some of the more organized and disciplined students, but they weren't helpful for me. I know a lot of you can relate to this. Maybe you're very distractible, and when it comes to your academic standing, maybe you're average, below average, or even slightly above average. But if you're not at the level where you need to be for your career goals, it's extremely disheartening. Maybe you're frustrated with your lack of work ethic, your lack of organization. Maybe just flat out you hate study. And let me tell you, you can change that because I did. If this sounds a lot like you, I'm gonna teach you how to use your degenerate brain, just like I did, to become the perfect student. The perfect degenerate student. Before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about self-improvement. Self-improvement's a topic that's completely blowing up right now. There's tens and thousands of gurus that are teaching you how to get in shape, become mentally sharper, be more social, find love, etc., etc. Self-improvement changed my life forever. I had mental health battles with years of depression, and I've had to fight them with good mental health practices. I had physical health battles. I've had an 8-year relationship, which really challenged me emotionally, and I've gone through the rabbit hole of blue pill and red pill and tried to flip-flop between ideologies until I found a system that works from my heart. Finding self-improvement years ago really changed my life, but there's one problem I have with all self-improvement creators, and that's that almost none of them are students. Most of them are self-employed entrepreneurs, and their self-improvement teachings and courses are actually the product that they're selling to you. And the general sentiment of a lot of the self-improvement community is fuck college. I love self-improvement, but as a student who's really passionate about his education, this completely pisses me off. And if you're a student too, this should piss you off too. This is your dream, this is your career, this is your passion, this is what you're chasing, and you're trying to seek self-improvement from people who are just bashing going to school. But it's completely our fault. The reason this sentiment exists is because we as students aren't living up to our full potential. Look around your class and tell me how many people are actually excited to be there. How many people are actually paying attention in class? Find me one person who's truly learning something in their formal education. And I'm not just talking about the class content that you're learning in class. I'm talking about marketable skills, social skills, how to interact with people, public speaking, how to listen, how to negotiate, how to ask your teacher for things, which will later translate into how you're gonna ask your employer for things. It makes me sick how many students are just zombified in school these days, falling into short-term gratification, sacrificing their career, and coming out with nothing but student debt. There's not enough leaders in the student sphere that are motivating students to actually pursue their education to the fullest of their capacity. And that's why every single self-improvement entrepreneur is able to trash school. Now, I found the balance. I go to the gym, I have a social life, I have marketable skills, and every skill that I have is magnified because I have a formal education. I've had the privilege of going to university and actually learning. And again, I'm not the student that sits at the front of the class with 100 study technique, and I'm not going to show you the cookie cutter way of how to get good grades. I'm the student that sits at the back of the class, or I don't show up at all, and I handle my own education. The problem is, students like me, we don't make YouTube videos. Usually because we're too lazy, but also because we have our education together, so there's no incentive to do so. I'm at the point in my life where I want to expand my outreach and show people a completely new way of being a student. My name is Mustafa, but everybody I know calls me Moose, so you can too. I've mentored tens of students, I've taught and tutored hundreds of students, I've coached hundreds of kids and adults in soccer, and I'm starting a new chapter in my medical residency training. Mentorship and teaching are in my blood. I'm not a fluffy mentor, I'm not a complacent mentor, and I'm not selling anything because I already have a solid career lined up. I want to share with you a new way of living life as a student and a new way of learning that worked for me. I want to show you a way to learn that doesn't utilize these formulas, techniques, or cookie cutter methods just to get good grades. I want to show you how to leverage your passionate and excited brain to learn in a way that is enjoyable, efficient, and gives you time to do everything that you want to do in your life. If what I'm saying is resonating with you or is making you nod your head, then join me as we create a new wave of students who can show people that Using self-improvement, leveraged with a formal education, can make you unstoppable. I'm going to make a lot of videos in a very short amount of time to show you exactly what I mean, so stay tuned and I'll see you all soon.